Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 17 here, bringing you another Company vs. 2 commentary. This time it's a 2v2, once again with Tank Killer, because I love playing with this guy. And I'm once again the Oberkommando, and he is the Wehrmacht. The enemy team, we have two Soviet players, Demigov, we'll call him Dim, in honor of Invader Zim, and Screen. Now, as you can see, this guy has a ton of doctrines with IS-2, so I wonder what he's going to go. Note, if you do this, you're kind of giving away, because again, he has 3 different doctrines here, you're kind of giving away the one you're most likely going to pick. I'm just saying. But in any case, oh wow. Company vs. 2, ladies and gentlemen. I hate when this happens. I truly do. Because this thing should be fixed or something. There we go. That's ridiculous. Anyway, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I initially putting out Stern Pioneers, but I also get the Volks. That way, again, to support them, because on this map, the Coup Wagon's great, but there's so many different angles they can come through, and the map is so open that Coup Wagons are nice, but they're easily flanked. So that's why I switched it to something else. Now, if we look on what the enemy's doing, they're going to try to push up as well. The main focus will be the city. So, on this map, Shimotsky Winter, it's pretty interesting because initially, I've had a replay before. If this is not a winter map, your goal is very simple. Push up, because again, you can't really cross. I don't believe you can cross this water. Maybe you can cross that. Not sure. But if you block that area off, you make it incredibly difficult for an enemy to attack. Same thing over here. You block this area up, it makes it incredibly difficult for the enemy to come through this area and to attack you. However, since it's covered in ice, you don't have to worry about that issue. And again, because it's covered in ice, you can pretty much come through any different direction. So, as you can see here, he's trying to put up this defensive sandbags. It's one of the conscript's abilities. And the thing about it is, Tank Killer is going to try to counter that just by overwhelming numbers. It's great to have cover, but if you get flanked, as I'm trying to do... Oh, okay, so that's why it turned. I wonder why it turned. But if you can try to flank and try to hit him from the side, it can do some damage. I tried. Fortunately, these combat engineers are in the building along with the conscripts, so I couldn't. He has a ton of look at this. He has like this conscript defensive line that he's built up in mid. Because again, he wants to try to hold that mid. What he's not doing, however, with this giant thing, and what Tank Killer and myself are doing, is capturing all these points. Because he has the these troops, the Osttruppen. They're pretty good. I think they're like 200. Yeah. They kind of increased. They were originally like 120, and then they patched them and increased it, because what people would do is just Osttruppen spam, which is great, by the way. Especially if it's 120, having just like 8 squads of Osttruppen just run across the battlefield. It's pretty. It's pretty like, oh my god, what do I do? But the main thing about it is it has the Panzerfaust ability. It does not, however, have the Grenadier ability, so you can't fire a grenade or something to blow up infantry. It's mainly designed, in my opinion, against like support against tanks, because then you can swarm the tank with these things. And like if you have a T-34 come in with about 4 or 5 squads of these things firing Panzerfaust, that T-34 is going to have either such a blown engine it can be almost dead or dying. It's one of the two. So they pushed up with these combat engineers, barely alive by the way. I pushed up with Sturm, but as you can see here, this guy's going MG spam. I hate when, I truly hate when someone goes this, because if you MG spam, it's like, you have 1 of 2 options. You're either going to do very well for yourself, which these guys won't, and or you're going to backfire, get flanked, and lose all your men. In any case, I get up my Volks, and I threw a grenade, or I will throw a grenade very shortly. There we go. To pretty much hit these guys. I'm like, oh, they're all together. I was really surprised it didn't do anything. It must have like got itself stuck in that cover. But yeah, I was like, I was like, yes, I can kill 2 squads. No, I didn't, but at least it weakened them a little bit, and they're still really close to dying. Now, the thing is, they have a bunch of MGs, and they have an AT gun. Okay, so that's a pretty good overall round unit. Yellow, on the other hand, is going counter. He's going a lot infantry base. He has a mortar and MG, but he's mainly particularly conscript, which is a good combo. For myself, Tank Killer and I are just trying to get a wide range, because as Germans, you can't really do that. Osttruppen's great, and Grenadiers are nice, but you need a good overall supportive unit, which I do like how we got the Artillery Field Officer. Kind of helps. It's not, I don't know, I like the other one better for the, Overcommando, the officer on their side. I believe it's with the Breakthrough Doctrine, but yeah, that one I feel is just a better officer with better abilities. This one's pretty good. I will say this concentrated barrage, it's great when you have a bunch of artillery. I thought there was, my stupid mistake I made, like, one of the beginning games of Company Heroes 2, was I thought this was just like, oh, calls off-field artillery. So I'm waiting for the artillery to come in, never came. I'm like, god dang it, what's wrong? And then I realized, I'm like, I messed up. Anyway, I move up, try to capture this point. On the left side, trying to hold this, trying to decap it. Unfortunately, this MG is just going to give me a lot of hell. But what he doesn't know is I have Stern Pioneers. And what Stern Pioneers do is they destroy infantry at a really good rate. Anyway, the doctrine I went, again, Oststruppen doctrine. This is pretty good. The redistribute resources is really nice because you can just keep calling in artillery strikes. That's if you're really desperate, though. I do mean incredibly desperate. Because the, the railway artillery is not exactly the best at, let's say, hitting tanks or infantry on the move. It will hit a wide range area. What you want to do is like set this on like a heavy fortified area. The best way, oh yeah, they brought over 2 AT guns. As you can see here, this guy's like 3 AT guns. He's just going all supportive at this rate. This guy is doing support spam through and through. I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, there's no like denying it. That's the thing. He's literally just going MGs and AT. But in any case, I'm moving up troops. Without the MG, though, those AT guns have to fall back because they can't do anything. They have a couple guys that can shoot, but against normal folks or Grenadier squad, they can't really do all that much. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The railway artillery is great for hitting fortifications because the artillery rounds will hit an area. It'll kill like T-34s, damage IS-2s. It's great. But the Oststruppen, again, good support. Trenches are nice. And if you can get a bunch of like Panzer Grenadiers, this is an easy way because a lot of people will like put down a lot of fuel points, but they don't have this excess fuel. This is a good way to get rid of all that extra fuel and then turn in munitions, which you can use for grenades, Panzer Shreks, MG42s, etc. 4 MGs. That's excessive. And at least this guy's going a little bit normal. All right, what is screen? I'm actually curious. Yeah, he's not even... Okay. I usually see that with more, like, upper tier players. He's not upper tier player, so, okay. Again, MG. I'm behind every cover. I'm shooting you point blank. Your MG's not facing me. I can tear you apart. So that's a little counter. Up here, tried to get up close. I threw a grenade. Oh, yeah. So I finally got 3 command points to activate my Doctrine special ability, Infiltration Tactic. Which is great. They killed my unfortunate Kuba wagon. But now this guy's moving up MG, so it's going to be a very, very, very slow push for him. So the infiltration grenades are great because if you have a full squad and they just pop up on a guy in the building, it'll just, like, the guy in the building has no chance. Like, these grenades only cost, like, 10 points as well. At least I believe. Yeah, just 10 points. You just have to stay out of cover. Stay out of a fight. I see this, I'm like, oh god, I run. Wasn't expecting to get in. I run. Just in case I got AT, because I'm using a lot of munitions, don't really have that much. Tank Killer has a lot of munitions, not sure what he's using it for. Oh, okay, maybe he's upgrading his men. Whatever. Point of the matter is, he's actually doing really well. He's holding mid pretty well. He's pushing on the right side. They may be... Oh, that's the demo charge. Okay, so this guy has to be like a better player. Because people will put these demo charges. Wait. Yep. That was a big explosion, ladies and gentlemen. And there are bits and pieces of Germans everywhere. But that's the quote-unquote Soviet counterattack, or like way to like plant a bomb, a big group of infantry in. It's a great anti-blob tactic that the Soviets have been using a lot lately, at least I've seen. But it costs 90 munitions, so there's a cost and effect to it. But hey, if you can get it done, I mean, that's really nice. They're moving in shock troops, which I want to highlight something here. Shock troops, okay? I'm probably going to label this like shock troop spam or shock troops. This guy literally called me out for using Obosodaten to counter these shock troops. But literally he calls in probably half a dozen plus squads of shock troops. So for those who like, oh, yeah, shock troops, I was using it to counter German infantry because you're so superior. That's great. And I'm like, I thought they were more back, so I was like trying to hit them. But it's like, that's great. You don't need fucking 6 squads of shock troops in a goddamn blob to be like, oh, this is how it's a fair game now. It's like, no, you're spamming. You're obviously spamming. Is it gonna work for them? Well, let's see. Shock troops, close up, Grenadier squad, MG42, good medium range, not so good close range. Shock troops gonna own this squad, guaranteed. Not even a competition, not even, like, yeah. And now he's gonna go over and like try to find squads running away, so, yeah. So, yeah, here come the shock troops. Anyway, what also the Special Operations Doctrine has is it has the radio silence. I don't really use that just because of the fact I don't see a point, except unless I'm doing like a high-level attack. That way, high-level, a large ambush. That way he doesn't know until like something happens. If he's not paying attention, then so be it. Infrared SG-44 is amazing on Obosodaten. I'm not going to use too many. But it is a really, really good weapon that'll just have the Obosodaten become effective killers. Especially if you have like 2 squads of these, it'll just destroy infantry. Good counter to shock troops. Good counter to shock troops. Flares, great, because again, you can have target and pretty much gives you recon over area for some time. And Panther, command tank, very nice because it actually supports other Panthers. So it's a Panther with a super buff to help other Panthers and make them better killers. Yeah, sight and movement of vehicles. Anyway, they have middle pretty much quarantined. Not much we can really do. Luckily, Tank Killer is putting up his own MGs to help counter their MGs. By the way, I don't know why shock troops trying to climb that mountain. Not mountain, hill. You can't really do that, I don't believe. So, yeah, good luck. Good luck. In any case, they went shock rifle front lines, which is great. IS-2 shock troops. And then, so shock army. Sturmovik strikes. Oh, this also has the flame barrage and the flamethrower tank. Inbound Stuka. I wonder what I'm going to hit. See, this guy's pretty smart because he knows I'm doing the bombing. So at least he was able to retreat his units. I'll give him that. And Demigod, as you can see here, kind of losing a lot of his MGs. Why? Because when you have an entire line of MGs that have very short radius, it's kind of easy to flank. Just saying. I also like how he thinks it's a great idea to have the AT guns look straight down the road, not supported in any way by infantry. So my Volks are going to come up like, whoa, what's this? Oh, that's interesting. Well, I got better things to do, but, you know, at least I know about that now. Oh, look, my Volks running right next to him. It's not like I can see them or anything. Oh, wait, I can. So, yeah, whatever. Try to hide your AT grenades. AT guns. Gonna work. Oh, or not. But again, 3 shock troop squads. I'm gonna see at the end how many he produces. It's increasingly frustrating how many times he does that. So, to the point of the matter is, Tank Killer's like, okay, you have a lot of infantry, a lot of MGs. I'm gonna get my own MGs that can't die from your MGs, which are bunkers with MGs. And you may be like, what about the AT guns? He's keeping his AT guns on the left side. He's not even he's not gonna dare move them into the city. Why? I don't know. He wanted to make sure that their fuel was under their control, even though that, you know, we keep kind of cutting them off. So, the issue, you have fuel. You kind of need to open this point up before you capture this point. And I know that, so I'll keep going up there to harass them. Tank killer in the other terms, we'll see him. Again, just trying to hold the city. I'm trying to push through the middle. I'm like scattered everywhere, honestly. I have a bunch of Volks. I'm giving Ovosodotin to help counter against the shock troop spam. But see, the bunker's doing great because all these conscripts, all these goddamn conscripts now moving into the middle to be like, oh, we're going to capture it. It'll be great. We'll see. Oh, another AT gun. That's exactly what you need, dude. Another AT gun. So I'm like, I know you're going for mid. Let's try to make you run away and do some damage. Made one. Did a little bit of damage. Not the best. Again, you have to be very careful to Stuka. Just blindly firing against moving troops, not exactly the best. I do have a good chunk of Volks, because I figured if I had a ton of Volks together, I could out-counter, because look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This goddamn shock troop blob from hell. Like, I'm being honest here. If you see this, just run away. You cannot honestly fight this. This is so BS. So then I'm like, oh, well, Sodotin. Oh, that's great, medium range. They're getting suppressed, they're getting owned, and it's gonna die. Like, yeah. They have an MG, that's why it got suppressed. But literally, it's just like, there's no, like, a bunch of Volk squads can't fire long range because they're closing distance. It'll be great if they would heavy snow. But yeah, it's just, you're complaining literally about, like, spamming. This is like spam 101. You want to try to, like, harass the enemy, get shock troops. The counter to shock troops, kill shock troops. What do you mean kill shock troops? Any way possible, because guess what? Shock troops are expensive. They are really, really expensive to bring back. So, you want to possibly have a bunch of shock troops, go right ahead. Here's the main problem. All I need to do, and I love this. I lured him to drop. I tried it when firing. He's going to retreat all of his units. Did a good chunk of damage. But it's going to take a lot of manpower to get all those shock troops back up to full health. So, I call that a small victory. They're moving up here. They have this, like, 2-man NG, which I'm not even sure why you would even move up with that. But, hey, he wants to move up with it, so be my guest. Tank Killer, on the other hand, is pushing. They did an incineration barrage to try to stop him from capturing mid. Did not work. Some troops burning. He's going to retreat them. So I put this nice little mechanized regiment over here. The reason I did it is so I could heal vehicles within the plus also get munitions. And if I can get extra munitions, I can then turn into extra fuel, which I think is what I'm doing right now. Yep. But look, this demigod guy, nearly 400 fuel. What's he doing? He's not going for tanks. Why? I think because he realized I have a lot of Volks, and maybe he wanted to make sure that I didn't, like, a T-34 versus about 3 squads of Volks with Panzerschrecks, not a good combo. Not a good combo. Especially versus the Germans. That's kind of bad. They do have a Katyusha. So I'll give them that. They do have a vehicle. But I think that was to counter my Stuka. Which I'm like, okay. Destroy the main road. Kind of glad I killed one. Kind of retreated the rest. But yeah, this is what you don't need. You do not need 3 AT guns stacked up in a row being like, well, don't worry. We'll hit the tank when he goes down the main road. He'll never see it coming. I know you're there. My troops can see you there.
Watch out, infantry!
And I'm decapping their fuel, so whatever. That's going to hurt the screen. But as you can see, they're getting SU-85. Good long-range capabilities. Kind of bad versus Volks because, or any type of Panzerschreck, because it's slower and it's a little harder to move than a T-34, so it's definitely going to make it harder to escape. Once again, the shock troop blob pops its head up. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm not even gonna try to face it. I'm just gonna run away. At this point, I've saved enough fuel. It's about 19 minutes in. It could have been really bad if they actually brought in, I don't know, some type of tank. But I think this guy's saving up for a bunch of IS-2s. That's my best guess. He wants IS-2s. Because everyone thinks, get the big heavy tank. It's the best thing to do. Yeah. So, I think I could put a grenade or something there, so that's what hurt him. Moving in Volks, bad idea. Kind of preset it. So anyway, I moved in a bunch of troops with Tank Killer to help support mid. Because again, my goal was to pretty much push them back. In any case, I realized that they had a ton of troops here, so I'm like, oh, okay, Obasadadin killed the AT gun, Volks help support conscripts, Grenadiers moving up, that easily kills conscripts. Yeah, so we'll be good. Push up pretty easily. They do have more troops than us, I will give them that. They're at least keeping the troops alive and have enough manpower to bring stuff in. So he's like, oh, I haven't seen a vehicle on their side. Let's bring in a flamethrower tank, because that's going to work out. Unfortunately, they also do Katyusha fire, killing a lot of troops. This is why you don't blob. Just one good artillery strike can really do a lot of damage to you. But here's the thing. You made Tank Killer very mad. It's funny because they're like, oh, what possibly could be brought in? That is a railgun round, ladies and gentlemen. He is very lucky that tank did not die. And he's very lucky that he had no troops there. Because right now, this entire middle area is a no-go for either side. Because those rounds will keep coming in and they will keep destroying all your stuff. I was very lucky not to get my tank injured, but it was in this area, so I was like, okay, I'll just watch over it. But I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to over here because they're recapturing it. Figured I would send my tank over there, maybe mess up a little bit. At least I believe I do. I'll send it that way very shortly. So Tank Killer went Panzer IV. I'm not 100% sure why he went Panzer IV. Panzer IV is better against infantry than Panthers. At least as far as I can tell, the Panzer IV at least capability is better against infantry than tanks. The Panther is better against tanks, but because of its rounds, it's not so much against infantry. But if you come to him with the MG40, is that the MG42? Yeah, pretty much the machine gun on top of the tank, it'll do a lot of damage. Once again, I see a lot of troops going this way, so I'm like, alright. Let's do some bombs in that direction. They are healing their tanks up. They have a good repair troop. Once again, he calls in this artillery round. But Tank Killer has so much munitions, I don't blame him for calling it in. It's just like, hold them back until we get our squads and everything else up and running. I was so busy trying to get, I guess, squads up and running for, pretty much get the Panther up that I kind of focus on fuel. Now that I can really focus on munitions, I can start upgrading these with, you know, the SG-44s, Panzer Strikes, etc. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Just have my guys support, fire up top, have these guys here, fire a bunch of grenades. Does pretty good damage in my opinion. And just because the MG42 is doing exactly what it does great medium to long range fire along with the Volk, doing quite a bit of damage. Now he's like, I don't like that. So he moves up his KV-8. KV-8, I know they're fearsome, I know they're deadly. Never, ever send this thing in unsupported. Especially against, like, pretty much any type of player that could possibly have a Panther on the field. Don't get me wrong, even against, like, Panzer IVs, this thing doesn't stand a chance. It's a great infantry killer. Its 45mm gun it can barely kill a Puma. And then I placed a mine here because I'm like, okay, what if a tank comes through here? Not even figuring that maybe a tank would come from the other direction. But now this thing's showing its rear armor. Can't do anything. It's doing a flamethrower attack on my tank. My tank's like brushing it off. Like, oh, it's a nice soothing warm bath, essentially. It's like not even doing anything. And I'm just constantly firing at it, always hitting. And now he's like, okay, let's counter. So he brings up an IS-2. We got enough points for it. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm out. Peace. Did a little bit of damage. A little bit of damage. Honestly, I can't really do all that much. But it's funny because they keep firing long range. What Tank Killer's going to do is he's going to move up his Panzer IV. This is where your goddamn blob of AT guns is not going to work. Because you will have them all facing one direction. By the time they can like realign themselves, they're not going to do anything. And this IS-2 actually took a nice rear shot from the Panzer IV. And it's like, I'm out. Peace out. My Volks are here trying to, you know, at least capture this point, hold it. Now these AT guns are like, okay, fire at will, but they're out of range because they decided to remand. I threw those awesome infiltration tactic grenades, did quite a bit of damage. And now this guy again has to waste a ton of manpower trying to get these things back up and running. In the meantime, I have my medical truck up. Why did I put it there? Well, because when they retreat, I didn't want to forward retreat point in case they did incineration barrage, something like that. Because that will make it easier, and I've seen too many games where I put it up to the front lines, and a nice Sturmovik strike or something, like, I can think of a ton of, like, artillery rounds, stuff like that, Katyusha fire, anything could just easily point out, because that's a stationary position, close range. The Soviet players are automatically going to figure, that's where the infantry's going, just keep firing there, and eventually we'll get a bunch of squads when they retreat and kill them. I love this. Shock troops like, oh, this is a great idea, charge this thing. One shock troop's good against like one or two squads. Against this, no chance. Point of the matter is, they're like, oh, so we'll attack the medical headquarters. If I keep it back here, I can instantly retreat it, and then when I retreat, they get instantly healed. So, similar to like the Soviet ability where, if you're the Soviets, you can have this medical package, which I highly recommend getting, because they'll just heal your unit up. And this guy did not do that. He probably should have. Probably should have. Would have helped with the shock troops. In any case, I wonder what he's going to get with his nearly 220 fuel. Oh, look. In about a turn, he could get this. What are we saving up for? And two IS-2s is not exactly a walk in the park. At least Tank Killer's moving up. At this point, Screen's like, okay, let me help out. But the IS-2's stuck. He knows he can't move up because that railgun might take him out. So all these AT guns are slowly making this small trek up. So I move up my guys, and I'm just like, okay, keep firing. Incineration barrage comes in. All these troops come in. Sturmovik strike, I'm like, I'm out. Peace out. Retreat. Panther and Panzer IV move up. They want to chase them. The Panzer IV happily chase them all the way back to their base if they want. IS-2's up here. Plane crash. Looks amazing. Oh, look. What is that? Another IS-2. So, yeah, a ton of troops going in. We're at least doing some damage to all these retreating troops. And Tank Killer does actually a really smart thing. While the IS-2's busy, just fire a rear shot. But the problem is the AT guns can now fire, so, yeah, you probably want to get out of there. Oh, boy. And that's the thing, since you're using so much munitions on this redistribution, Tank Killer, you have a ton of manpower. Just saying. Ton of manpower. Probably should use that. The problem is, like, you can waste fuel, and this is where it's a negative side. Sometimes you can use that too much, and you're putting yourself in a position where you don't have enough to get a really good tank. Oh yeah, this thing I hit with some Panzer Shrek, it's like I'm out. Look at that gun. That gun is like completely gone. But yeah, he's wasting the railgun, I'll admit. Why put it on the ice? It's definitely going to make them unable to come through that small section of the ice for some time, but still. We didn't really need it there. So they're like, okay, move up with the IS-2, counter. So he's like falling back. Not sure why he fell back, but maybe he feels like there could be a lot of Volks with Panzer Shreks coming up. Who knows? I have my Stuka here. Reason I put it there was just like keep it hidden because it's like, oh, it's on the side of a hill. They're not going to see it. They're not going to think, oh, it could be right there. And it's also really, really close to the medical thing. So if it gets shot at, I can easily pull it back and get healed. In the meantime, we're doing pretty good. On this map, the fuel is right here, so we're doing pretty good at least holding that. We're also doing pretty good at on the other map, I think the fuel's here and here, really close to base. but on this map it's a little bit farther up and away from your base. But at least Tank Killer and I are constantly sending infantry back and forth to capture back the right area and decap it if possible. The problem is they keep saying that god dang, like we should have probably realized it, but those satchel charges. Oh no, pre-planned explosives, sorry, not satchels. I do kind of find it funny, they have an AT gun on the ice. They also have a dead AT gun on the ice. Not sure why. That was my bad. That was kind of like too dangerous close. Kind of like hitting in the area they're coming in on. He has a lot over Sadat moving up. Grenadier squads. He's getting more infantry. I'll give him that. And he's saving up for my guess for a Panzer IV. But see, that's why trenches are okay, but they're not okay because again, one good artillery strike and stuff, and all the guys in your trench is gone. Which is why I don't use trenches all that much. Now I have a good chunk of infantry coming up. I know they just did Katusha fire, so I'm at least on that end. Have the SG-44, which I will move up shortly. But I'm like, okay, can do pretty well and push up. Also, I have the Panther. What I didn't realize was the AT gun here. But I did see the SU-76, which is a good artillery vehicle. And it's actually hitting my troops. So I'm like, alright, you want to do that? Well, I'll fire at you. Now, railgun. We're going to watch. This is why, if you see a railgun, you run away. Otherwise, you will literally sink to the bottom of a lake. So that was a really good railgun, Tank Killer. I'll give you that one. In any case, they have double IS-2s coming up here with shock troops. I can't beat that. I got one Panther. Panthers, while good, there's no way they can beat an IS-2. You have to really maneuver them for two, because IS-2s have great armor, but they're like, oh, I'm going to move up. And at this point, I'm like, I'm terrified, because they're now firing on this. The funny thing is, just because of the hill difference, it's making it harder for them to hit. And I'm like, okay, hide around this bush, so that way they can't see my Panther being healed. But I'm like, okay, still being healed? Okay, it's being healed. Tank Killer, helping to captain points. See, I have the SG-44s. That's where the SG-44s come into play. Throw a grenade, does a little bit of damage, kills a guy. Still pretty good though. At least holding him back. Note, Yellow has 2 shock troop squads. This guy has 4 shock troop squads. I have 1 Obosadatan squad. This guy's like 18 kills. He's not using them well, but I'm just saying he's using them a good amount. I make sure I kill that mortar because that mortar's been irritating us for some time. Move up a lot of Panzer Strike forces, and I move up my Panther. My goal is to at least do a good bit of damage to the IS-2s. Not kill them per se. Not kill them. But at least make it seem like they fight that there's a good chance they could lose. You don't have to win a fight per se. You can't win a game like that, but you can at least delay them. If you can make yourself seem like a bigger threat, then the enemy will pull back until you actually be a good threat. Oh, this is where Tank Killer shined. He laid a trap for these guys. Went behind their lines, got all their troops, their AT guns, and literally did that. And I'm like, bravo, Tank Killer. Bravo. Problem was, a lot of their troops got stuck in the inspiration barrage, so that's what he did. But he has a ton of AT guns now hitting the enemy, and I'm like, I'm gonna help you out, dude. Move up Panther, help took it out. Now 2 stars. All 3 vehicle kills. Not too shabby. He lost an IS-2, he's gonna fall back. Again, so many bombs coming down. And now he's like at a point where he doesn't necessarily have enough to pull up another IS-2. He does have enough to, let's say, heal all of his shock troops going back without, you know, some serious thought about the process. Also, he doesn't right now have enough fuel coming in to get an IS-2 for some time. So right now they're in a delicate situation. Same thing with Screen. Screen, again, the problem with getting a bunch of shock troops and a bunch of troops in general, it costs a lot to bring them back. And which is nice if you can decisively defeat the enemy. But if you're getting big heavy tanks and you lose the big heavy tank, you're essentially losing like 5 squads of something that could have been used at a different purpose. I will say this. They attack our fuel points. They push here and try to capture that point. I'm like, no you don't. So I'm going to send my Obosodan to go deal with that. Because I don't like conscripts going behind enemy lines. In the meantime, I'll also get another Obosodan squad just because of the fact I'm tired of their shock troops and I want to try to push them back. I will say this, he has 31 kills and that enables them to heal themselves over time when out of combat. That's amazing. And weapon accuracy and weapon control under fire. That's really good. More shock troops. More shock troops. I wonder if I'm getting a theme here. IS-2's coming back up. I have 2 Panthers though. Along with all this. So he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to roll up and kill your Panzer IV. Because I'm a badass with my IS-2. And then all my guys with Panzer Shreks and 2 Panthers roll up. And he's like, dear lord, I may have just made a mistake. I'm going to fall back. I will lose, I think, one of the squads. Because, yeah. Just because of the snow. But at least he's pulling back his IS-2. Now he has an Su-85 moving up. Or at least Screen does. And Su-85s again are good long range when supported in combat. I throw an infiltration grenade, kills a lot of forces. But he's like, I'm gonna have an Su-85 and I'm gonna hit you long range. To the point I'm like, I have a guy with like, yeah, I have a guy with Panzer Shrek. You can't do anything to him because your rounds really don't hurt him. Sometimes they can kill an infantry unit, but overall, no, they can't. So I'm like, alright, I'll just chase you. And he's like, I'm gonna run away before the same thing happened to me again where my turret got blown off because you fired so many of those things at my head. Or at least the head of the tank. Once again, more shock troops. Move up over Sedan. And this guy's like, oh, well, let's see, let's close the gap. I knew he was coming, I threw a grenade, missed. Kind of fault myself. And this is where Abu Sedan doesn't really come into play. Because again, close range, shock troops win. So that was my mess up, my mistake. I will say this, Abu Sedan capturing this area. At least I will be. I'll be capturing this area. Very happy he didn't detonate that charge and kill my awesome troops, but we'll see. Move up some Volks, try to take over this area, heal my Panther in the meantime, at least send them back. Tank Killer has his unit being healed. Again, nice corner of the map area. They don't really know each other. Grenadier Squad moves up, runs their shock troops, very narrowly runs. If that thing would have stayed a few seconds longer, probably would have died. But at this point, I'm like, you have a ton of guys right here. I don't like that. Shock troop barely misses my Stuka barrage, but hey, at least I was able to hit the Su-85, but doesn't really do all that much. My Stuka is not getting that many kills, but at least the wow, I don't know how that pole's staying up through this. It should have probably fell by now. Once again, they use Katyusha fire, attack with shock troop. So, I'm really surprised they haven't brought this in. But at this point, I'm like, okay, just keep firing. They're behind cover. Throw a grenade. He runs away. Do a lot of damage. Keep firing. Lures me into a damn trap and blows me to Kingdom Come. Touche, Screen. Touche. That's how you use those charges. Now this guy has all shock troops. This is a 4-man squad of like a 4-squad attack with shock troops. This is insane. Okay, if you're down on manpower, do not get this, and it'll come to fruition why. But it's like I slowly run away, and then I use my Obel Sudan to fire long range while they're crossing all that heavy snow and all that. And then I'm like, alright, throw a grenade where they're going to be coming toward me. Use the SG-44, keep firing. My goal is just like, alright, just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. Panther rolls up. Second Panther rolls up. Running over all the troops. As many as possible. MG-42 up top. They're scattered, their thing. This guy's still shooting. They're all concentrated on this. My tank's still shooting. I'm still doing damage. Retreat them. MG42 on the gun, still doing a lot. Normal barrel, again, not doing as much as I would like. But again, like I said, I don't think Panthers are really designed to kill infantry. More tanks. Panzer IVs are better. Tank killer somehow goes through here without the guy knowing. I really hope he kills that unit. Please kill that unit. So close. Decaps this. How is that relevant? If you decap this, it doesn't connect. Okay? So right now they have nothing coming in. They are and because of this point, they're completely disconnected. Like, honestly, they have nothing, which is amazing because Tank Killer single-handedly cut them off from getting more fuel, munitions, all basic resources. Now this guy has 5 shock troop squads and 1 IS-2, which now he has enough fuel to probably get another IS-2. In the meantime, I really don't have all that fuel, or at least all that much. I have a lot of squads right here, at least trying to hold them back. Once again, it got too close. My Panzer headquarters with its flat gun was able to suppress them, take them out. I'm going to send one of my tanks back to go heal. The rest I'll go cap the points up on the hill, or sorry, this point, because then that's critical for us to start getting those points in if we have to hold that point, which is why it's there and why they put it there. Because if you hold that point, even if you don't hold this hill, the enemy's not getting your points, which is a really, really smart tactic to have. Because see, it's cutting it off right here. It needs to connect for it to get points. Anyway, move over Soldaten, try to take the middle. Realize, okay, you can see the shots, they're coming in here, and so I'm like, alright, they're coming in this area. Let me go to the edge up closer to it, so that way you can dodge a lot of the fire. And it worked. A lot of the fire missed. So I'm like, great. Over Soldaten, start firing. This thing's barely alive. Retreat. I think it's gonna die. Nope, it doesn't. Will it? No. Ostroop and Grenadiers and my Panther supporting along with more Obel Soldaten. Again, good support. You got it's not Sturm Officer, sorry, Artillery Officer. Don't get me wrong, Sturmovik Strike coming in. Does a lot of good infantry. But I moved back my Panther just in case I didn't know what that was. Move my Panther back up, doing some nice shots. And with all the good round support, they're going to retreat. They move up there as 285. They move up an IS-2. This plane probably scared the living daylights of the IS-2. It's like, oh my god, am I alive? Okay, I'm alive. The Su-85, on the other hand, is just like, oh, I'm going to move up. Easily take it out. Without second thought. Easily take it out. Once again, a giant blob of shock troops. All coming in. I'm using my Panther to fire from one angle, using a bunch of Panzer Strikes coming in to fire at another. They have AT guns stationed in the wrong direction. Once again, when you man stuff with shock troops, it's the same amount with shock troops. So, yeah. You probably just want to get with conscripts. Harder to kill, but still. Is this guy gonna put? Oh, okay. He does have enough munitions to put down one of those charges. Thank God. But it's a close game. We're at 42 minutes. It's pretty close. They have some tanks right now on the ice. I think I see that. Yeah, I think I see that and move up a Panther. No? Okay. I will say that I see all this. I'm like, okay, run him over. People forget you can run stuff over with your tank. And with having a bigger tank is just like, it's less maneuverable, for sure. I lose another squad because shock troops close range. But still, I mean, you can run over troops, and I don't care how tough those troops are. I've seen it where I've just run over an entire squad. Anyway, Su-85 on the ice versus a bunch of Panzer Shreks. Not going to win, going to run away. Fire. 2 Panzer IVs hitting it. Going to move up a little bit. Get range. And take it out. There we go. And then get off the ice before I possibly die from some stupid artillery fire and fall into the water below. 2 Panthers, currently both severely injured. Over Soldaten, which I sent over here to capture the right. I retreated because it was taking damage. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice this. So after their little ambush, Tank Killer blocked it up with an MG, mined it up with a ton of... Okay. So that's what he was doing with his resources. He was mining areas up. Pretty nice, Tank Killer. Oh, what else did he put mine? Oh, is that us or them?
Enemy infantry advancing.
That's us. Okay. So you go on their perspective. Yeah. Not sure why you would put there, TK. Maybe here, main road, or even right here. But, you know, still good. That Katusha, man. 41 kills. We didn't even think about going after it because it was so far away. IS-2 comes in. Panther, bursting it. I find it funny how it's able to pierce it and make it retreat. Move in some Panzer Shreks. Oh, he has a nice Panzer IV with some nice plating. That makes the Panzer IV harder to kill, just because of the fact it has increased armor plating, which makes it harder to pierce on its sides. Nice fact. Yeah, you get these, like, and also, yeah, armored skirts. Obosedan moving up, 24 kills, yeah. So, like the one before. Move up, take it out. Then this guy starts complaining, thank you, Relic, for Obosedan. Thank you, Relic, for shock troops. Ladies. If he could see how, like... And look, this is the issue. He doesn't have enough manpower to heal all the troops, so they're all stuck at base, waiting one at a time. Like, I'll take Johnny, and it's like 5 minutes later. I'll take that guy. I'll take Steve. I'll take Kochevsky. Like all these guys. It's just like slowly but surely coming. It's like, really? And now he has to send them in because they're low on time, and it's like, sure they could keep healing up, but it'll take forever at this rate. Yeah, I kind of misspelled believe. I hate when I do that. They have this AT gun line, which they don't bring up for a trap or use in any fashion, but they do move their IS-2s up into a city. In the meantime, I got a command tank just to help lead my Panthers. So I call this the triple Panther threat, because Panthers are a little better now because of that command tank. Coming from the flank, because he's like, oh, I'm going to hit all these troops over here, which is great. I'd lose that unit, but I'll retreat those. Panthers coming from the rear. Bunch of AT guns staying there. Again, the armored skirts help them. They should really run. All hitting gets a rear armor shot. And I'm like, booyah. This guy has all these troops moving in. That guy moving still over here. He's turning around. And they surrender. I'm not sure why they surrendered, but they just surrendered. Maybe because they thought that they couldn't handle 3 Panthers. It's like, game over. But, I mean, if you look at Tank Killer, he technically have the biggest army. This guy had more forces. Don't get me wrong, they weren't exactly good. But, look, call me out for Obosedan spamming. Okay, I could understand, like, okay, Obosedan, they're overpowered. This is shock troop spamming. Overall, we look at the score. I got 42,000. Tank Killer got 23. 196 kills, 140, and I lost less than TK. We look over a person. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Let me double check. Shock troops killed 53 infantry. Wait, what? Shock troops, infantry kills 53, number of kills 55. What does that mean? Okay, whatever. IS-2 is his best unit. But let's look at units. How many shock troops? He produced 8 shock troops, lost 3 squads. $15,000. Never lost a Panther. Sorry, I thought that was pretty good. Obosedan 65 kills. I only produced 4. So if he wants to call me out for Obosedan spamming, then what the heck is he doing with his shock troops? In any case, I want to thank you guys for watching. Oh yeah, I did lose my Stuka. I think it was just a random. Oh yeah, it was a Su-85 that was here. fired long range, killed it, swarmed it with Panthers, instantly killed it. In any case, sorry, I completely forgot about my Stuka dying. Sorry, this guy made me mad with his comment about shock troops, if you have not gotten that. But yeah, to win a game, you need a good overall force. And I'm not saying conscripts you have to go, but having a beginning with entirely MGs and AT guns and then switching to shock troops and thinking that strategy is going to work, especially when your AT guns are all in a line like this, like in an ambush tactic, we know they're there. You're not doing anything. These AT guns probably stay in the same, like, quarter-mile area. I mean, I take it back. They probably, yeah, they stay in this, like, I think the farthest they gone was up here, and they just stay in this general area most of the time until CK ran them up here. But we know, try something different. Like, if I stole my Stuka, I would instantly kill all 3. I can send my 1 Oba squad and kill all 3 easily. Don't do this. Also, if you're doing bulletins like this, maybe have doctrines that go with them. Don't just have one, because then the enemy knows which one you're going to go. That's another tip. But overall, that was a pretty good game. I did enjoy it, even though I did, like, feel like cursing at the end of it just because the guy called me out. But in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, if you do have a replay, do send it in. I'll do it for, those replays will be released on Saturday, part of our community. I guess Saturday's our day where we show community videos of other people we know, and it would just fit in that day. So once again, if you have community videos, send it in then. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.